Yes, guys, so this winter, I am over it. Sick of the sub-freezing temperatures, the rainy days preventing the such highly coveted tennis sessions. I'm so over it, I decided to fly out of Richmond down south to sunny Florida to play some tennis, enjoy the warmer weather, but more importantly, the Delray Beach Open. Here we go, awakening after getting in late the evening prior, and was unbelievably thrilled to witness the Florida sun at long last. I don't know what to say about that coop in the middle of the front yard, but we'll skip over that. Would make our way to Tennis Plaza first thing, which is a retailer, online retailer that I'm familiar with. Kind of cool to see the brick and mortar store, but more importantly, got the head boom strung up fresh with some Grapple Snake Tour Mako. 3 tennis sessions back to back to back to back, only the best when in Florida. Caught the marina and some wildlife. That iguana took me by surprise. Look at that thing. Is that 9 feet long or what? Prehistoric creature crawling up the palm trees. Eventually picked up the racket, got some breakfast, and then headed over to the courts to hit some groundies and play a practice set and just enjoy the weather and the beautiful sport. And we see the Condor slap tennis balls all the time on this channel, so we're only going to watch 2 of the best points from this tennis sesh where I duked it out with the young buck. This will also work as a sneak peek for things to come. Video next week, a formal match that we played, the match in Florida, as I'm calling it. Will I finally upset this 4-5 that I've never been able to even take a set off of? We shall see. But here's a pretty fun point, a little bit of everything in it, including some outstretched defense and a botched overhead to finish. But we go on, more wildlife, more iguanas. I was shocked at their prevalence everywhere. I was waiting to see a gator or a croc. Can't say that I did, unfortunately, but I did get a smoothie to resupplement all the lost calories. Eventually made our way over to our quarters for the next 2 days, and that is staggeringly disgusting. I felt like I was in a Scandinavian prison cell with as bland as that room was. Not even the sheet stretching over the mattress. Our hosts did at least have some wildlife in the backyard, an 80-year-old tortoise, a 4-pound yellow frog swimming around, and then they had their own recreational activities that I did not choose to partake in. Wow, babadoo, oh moody. But anyways, let's get on to the Delray Beach Open, shall we? The night session was the first event we attended. As you get a look at the vendors and the initial entrance as we make our way in, and just stunned at the randomness with all the vendors. Is that a banana boat? We saw some LASIK eye surgery, some real estate, some luxurious Arabic furniture, and some fine linens. I mean, this isn't tennis head material. This is boomer material, which made a lot of sense later, and I'll touch more on. A look at the stadium, and finally, the reason you're here, some court level points. The first match that we saw, Lerner Tien, the kid from California, squaring off against the Italian prince, Matteo Arnaldi. And this was my buddy's favorite match of the 4 that we witnessed. He said he just loved the sheer athleticism. Neither of these guys are absolute specimens. They're not units. They're not overly physical necessarily. So they rely on their speed, acceleration, their balance, and their coordination to play elite level tennis. And I can't say I disagree with him. This was an absolute shootout. It would eventually go to 3 sets, but the home hopes were lost at the hands of course, Arnaldi, who would eventually take it. The second set of the evening sesh, enjoying this under the lights. There you have it. Yaka chaka chaka boo! Against number 4 in the world, Taylor Fritz, the number 1 American, the California kid, another one. The real California kid, you could call it. And this set was my favorite. As far as individual sets go, the first one was outrageous. The level was so high. Boo was just going toe-to-toe, taking it to Fritz, hanging with him step by step, just exchanging blows from the back of the court. And I think he started to win the crowd over. There were a lot of people, virtually everyone was rooting for Fritz, of course, but a lot of people, as the match went on, started to warm up to boo and I heard a lot of chants of saying, "Let's go, boo," which was pretty humorous. But of course, the underdog story came to an end, and Taylor Fritz advanced to try to defend the Delray Beach title and win it for the 3rd year in a row. We shall see if that comes to fruition. Got some breakfast the next morning, classic flapjacks and such. Would saunter over, couldn't help myself, my weakness, some pastries, and another key reason why you're all watching this, I know, is because you want to watch me just pound some sweets as I get nearly choked up on that strawberry that was 2 sizes too large. Would head over straight to the tournament again for the day session this time around and add to the collection in the gift shop. I've been to the Winston-Salem, been to the Washington Open, I've been to Indian Wells, I've been to Cincinnati, and I've been to Newport, and each time I acquire a tennis towel. And this is the latest addition to the arsenal, which was fun. Another look at the premises here. Pretty straightforward stuff. As far as the tournament goes, distinguishing itself from other tournaments, pretty lackluster. Nothing to write home about. The food, the vendors, the facility, all pretty forgettable. But that's not why we go to tournaments now, is it? We go to watch the pros slap the ball silly and compete at the highest level. And yeah, that never disappoints, as Kecmanovic almost pulls out that sexy tweener against Marcos Giron, another California kid. All these Americans seem to be from the Golden State. And Kecmanovic, would lose the first set in quick fashion. It was like 27 minutes, but he would course correct and eventually rattle off 2 sets to make the comeback and send Marcos Giron packing for the week and advance to eventually the final. We'll see if he wins it in due time. In between matches in the day sesh, instead of falling to the price gouging on site, we ran across the street to Tony's Deli, and I indulged in a fat Reuben with some garlic fries. And as you can see, that sent me into an out-of-body experience. Absolute tastegasm at the hand of that Reuben. I'll never forget you, baby. But would find our way back, check out the practice courts where we saw the Spaniard Alejandro Davidovich Fekina slapping some serves, and I would get a good look at his extreme tour, the racket, on the stringer later, which was interesting. But eventually, the second match of the day sesh would be upon us as I get a really up-close look at the competitors. The man from Great Britain, Cam Norrie, squaring off with another California kid. I'm just realized I watched 4 of these Americans, all from out west. Interesting little pattern there. And this was probably my favorite match. Hard to say. I mean, they were all so good. How can I choose? But this one was highly competitive. They were all competitive. If they didn't split sets and go to a deciding set, then they at least had one set that went to a tie break. So what I mean to say is that there were not a lot of breaks. It was high quality tennis. It was uber competitive, and I was there for it all. So that's about it. Would head out the next day. Just these 4 matches that I witnessed. Let me know what you think, what other tournaments I should visit in due time, and remember that Trashman Tennis is all about the tennis transfer.